Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Everyone please. Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
जाओ हाँ what is that I have no idea Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. ठीक है, we'll switch it. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Bole
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Ram
Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Bole bole
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Everyone please Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Bole everyone
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Boliye everyone. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama,
Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bole.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Prabhu.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhatta Prem. अब आई आवाज। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे, कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare Hare
Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Hare
Jai Ho.
Jai Ho.
Hare Krishna. Let's sing a small kirtan to
Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe,
Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Everyone.
Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Jaya Shri Radhe,
Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri Radhe,
Shri Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Shri 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 Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to welcome His Holiness Giriraj Swami. Hare Krishna. As I mentioned earlier, Giriraj Swami is one of the early joiners of the Krishna consciousness movement who did significant service to develop the Krishna consciousness movement, especially in Juhu, Bombay, and many other places around the world. Has close relationship with the founder, Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And he'll be here all day long till midnight and past for Janmashtami. And now over the next little while, since he just arrived, he's going to be speaking Krishna Katha, entertaining, taking questions and answers, and interspersed with kirtan and so forth. So please welcome His Holiness Giriraj Swami.
Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. I will sing the Mangalacharna prayers and lead a short kirtan, and then we will read from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in relation to the advent of Lord Krishna, whose appearance day we are celebrating today. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupa Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantam Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajapacharya Stotra Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariprajapacharya Stotra Sri Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai, Navadvip Dham Ki Jai, Chamuna Mai Ki Jai, Ganga Mai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. We shall read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods for Lord Krishna in the Womb. As described in this chapter, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead entered the womb of Devaki to kill Kamsa, all the demigods understood that the Lord was living within Devaki's womb. And therefore, in veneration, they offered him the Garbha Stuti prayers. Kamsa, under the protection of his father-in-law, Jarasandha, and with the help of his demoniac friends like Pralamba, Baka, Chanura, Srinavarta, Agasura, Mustika, Bana, and Bhomasura, began oppressing the members of the Yadu dynasty. Therefore, the members of the Yadu dynasty left their homes and sought shelter in such states as Kuru, Panchala, Kekaya, Shalva, and Vidarbha. Only some of them stayed with Kamsa as nominal friends. After Kamsa killed the Sadgarbhas, the 6 sons of Devaki, one after another, Anantadev entered Devaki's womb and was transferred to the womb of Rohini by the manipulation of Yogamaya, who was following the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord himself, who was soon to appear as the 8th son of Devaki, ordered Yogamaya to take birth from the womb of Yashoda Devi. Because Krishna and his potency, Yogamaya, appeared simultaneously as brother and sister, the world is full of Vaishnavas and Shaktas, and there is certainly some rivalry between them. Vaishnavas worship the Supreme Lord, whereas Shaktas, according to their desires, worship Yogamaya in forms like Durga, Bhadrakali, and Chandika. Following the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya transferred Baladev, Shankarshan, the 7th child of Devaki, from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. Because Shankarshan appears in order to increase love for Krishna, he is known as Baladev. One may take auspicious strength from him to become a devotee of the Lord, and therefore he is also known as Balabhadra. So Srila Prabhupada said if we have any problem or difficulty or challenge, we can approach Lord Balaram and present our difficulty to him, and he will help us. After Yogamaya transferred the seventh child of Devaki to the womb of Rohini, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared within the heart of Vasudeva and transferred himself into the heart of Devaki. Because the Lord was present in her heart, Devaki, as her pregnancy continued, appeared effulgent. Upon seeing this effulgence, Kamsa was full of anxiety, but he could not harm Devaki because of their family relationship. Kamsa was actually the brother of Devaki. Thus he began indirectly thinking of Krishna and became fully Krishna conscious. So in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami describes pure devotional service. Anyabilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena Krishna anushilanam bhaktirutama. So anyabilasita sunyam means without any other desire. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has analyzed the suffix ita. Rupa Goswami could have said anya vilasa sunyam, but no, he wrote anya vilasita sunyam. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that the suffix ita means that under ordinary circumstances, one worships Krishna without any other desire. But in extreme circumstances, such as if one is being attacked by someone with deadly weapons, under such circumstances, one may pray to Krishna for protection. And that does not violate the principle of pure devotional service. That's included in Anya Vilasita. So, Anya Vilasita Sunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavritam, and it is not covered by karma or jnana. In other words, bhakti is independent. It does not depend on karma or jnana. Whereas karma and jnana do require some touch of bhakti to be successful. So, anya vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulyena. So, anukul means favorable. Anukulyena Krishna anushilanam. Anu means continuous, and anu also means to follow. Like we're followers of Rupa Goswami, so we are Rup Anugas. So, Jnana Karmadi Anavritam Anukulyena Krishna Anushilanam. It's a cultivation. A continuous cultivation following the authorities. Bhakti Uttama, that is pure devotional service. So, a very important element in the definition of pure devotional service is anukul, that it should be favorable. So Kamsa was Krishna conscious. He was always thinking of Krishna, but not favorably. And therefore his Krishna consciousness cannot be considered bhakti. So thus he began indirectly thinking of Krishna and became fully Krishna conscious, but in a negative way. Meanwhile, because of the Lord's presence within the womb of Devaki, all the demigods came to offer the Lord their prayers. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, they said, is eternally the absolute truth. The spiritual soul is more important than the gross body, and the super soul, Paramatma, is still more important than the soul. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is absolutely independent, and his incarnations are transcendental. The prayers of the demigods glorify and exalt devotees and explain the fate of persons who superficially consider themselves liberated from the conditions of material nature. A devotee is always safe. When a devotee fully surrenders to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is completely liberated from the fear of material existence. By explaining why the Supreme Personality of Godhead descends, the prayers of the demigods clearly confirm the Lord's statement in Bhagavad Gita 4:7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam dharmasya tadatmanam shijamyam. Whenever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods. Text 4 and 5. Eketam anurundana gyataya paryupasate hateshu shastubaleshu devakya anugrasina. Saptamo Vaishnavam Dhamma Yam Anantam Prachakshate Garbo Babuva Devakya Harsha Shoka Vivardhana. After Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, killed the 6 sons of Devaki, a plenary portion of Krishna entered her womb as her 7th child, arousing her pleasure and her lamentation. That plenary portion is celebrated by great sages as Ananta, who belongs to Krishna's second quadruple expansion. Text 6. Bhagavan api vishvatma vididva kamsajam bayam yadunam nijanathanam yogamayam samadhishat. Translation. To protect the Yadus, his personal devotees, from Kamsa's attack, the personality of Godhead, Vishvatma, the supreme soul of everyone, ordered Yogamaya as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The words Bhagavan api Vishvatma viditva kamsajam bayam are commented upon by Srila Sanatan Goswami. Bhagavan Swayam is Krishna. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. He is Vishvatma, the original supersoul of everyone, because his plenary portion expands as the supersoul. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 13:3. Kshetra gyam chapi mam vidi sarva kshetrit varata. Lord Krishna is the Kshetra Gya, or supersoul of all living entities. He is the original source of all expansions of the personality of Godhead. There are hundreds and thousands of plenary expansions of Vishnu, such as Shankarshan, Pradumya, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva. But here in the material world, the Vishvatma, the supersoul for all living entities, is Kshirodakshai Vishnu, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 18:61. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. The Supreme Lord is situated in the heart of all living entities, O Arjuna. Text 7. Gacha Devi Vrajambhadre Gopa Gobir Alankritam Rohini Vasudevasya Paryaste Nandagokule Anyascha Kamsa Samvigna Vivareshu Vasantihi. The Lord ordered Yogamaya, O my potency, who are worshipable for the entire world, and whose nature is to bestow good fortune upon all living entities, go to Vraja, where there live many cowherd men and their wives. In that very beautiful land, where many cows reside, Rohini, the wife of Vasudeva, is living at the home of Nanda Maharaj. Other wives of Vasudeva are also living there incognito because of fear of Kamsa. Please go there. Purport. Nanda Gokul, the residence of King Nanda, was itself very beautiful. And when Yogamaya was ordered to go there and encourage the devotees with fearlessness, it became even more beautiful and safe. Because Yogamaya had the ability to create such an atmosphere, the Lord ordered her to go to Nanda Gokul. So Krishna could do everything himself, but he has his energies. Parasya Shakti Vivadaiva Shruyate. And so he deputed his energy, Yoga Maya, to go to Vraja and create an auspicious atmosphere. Text 8. Devakya jatare garbam sheshakyam damanamakam tatsani krishya rohinya udare saniveshaya. Within the womb of Devaki is my partial plenary expansion known as Shankarshan or Shesha. Without difficulty, transfer him into the womb of Rohini. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The first plenary expansion of Krishna is Baladev, also known as Shesha. The Shesha incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead supports the the entire universe. And the eternal mother of this incarnation is Mother Rohini. Quote, because I am going into the womb of Devaki, end quote, the Lord told Yogamaya, quote, the Shesha incarnation has already gone there and made suitable arrangements so that I may live there. Now he should enter the womb of Rohini, his eternal mother. End quote. Yeah, so Shesha, or Ananta, makes all arrangements for the comforts of the Lord. And so it was appropriate that he should first enter the womb of Devaki before Krishna himself entered, to make all arrangements favorable for the Lord's residence there. In this connection, one may ask how the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always situated transcendentally, could enter the womb of Devaki, which had previously been entered by the 6 asuras, the Sadgarbhas. Does this mean that the Sadgarbhasuras were equal to the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? The following answer is given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The entire creation, as well as its individual parts, is an expansion of the energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, even though the Lord enters the material world, he does not do so. This is explained by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 9, 4, and 5. Maya tata idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina matstani sarvabhutani nachaham teshvavastitaha nachamatstani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram bhuta brin nacha bhuta sto mamat ma bhuta bhavana. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. And yet, everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, And although I am everywhere, myself is the very source of creation. Sarvam kalavidam Brahma. Everything is an expansion of Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet everything is not the Supreme Godhead, and He is not everywhere. Everything rests upon Him, and yet does not rest upon Him. This can be explained only through the Achintya Veda philosophy. Such truths, however, cannot be understood unless one is a pure devotee. For the Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 18:55, Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. One can understand the Supreme Personality as He is only by devotional service. Even though the Lord cannot be understood by ordinary persons, this principle should be understood from the statement of the Shastras. A pure devotee is always transcendentally situated because of executing 9 different kinds of bhakti yoga. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Thus situated in devotional service, a devotee, although in the material world, is not in the material world. Yet a devotee always fears, because I am associated with the material world, so many contaminations affect me. Therefore, he is always alert in fear, which gradually diminishes his material association. Yes, Srila Prabhupada said the one thing he didn't like about his disciples was that they were not sufficiently afraid of Maya. Yes, Srila Prabhupada said that the one thing he did not like about his disciples was that they were not sufficiently afraid of Maya.
They were not.
No. He wanted them to be more afraid of Maya.
Why?
So that they would not become victims of Maya.
For example?
Well, if you're not afraid of Maya, then you could say, flirt with her. Flirt with Maya, or you could interact with her.
Can you give me an example of Maya?
Maya means illusion, that which is not. So if we think we're this body, that's Maya. If we think I'm the enjoyer of the world, that's Maya. If I think I'm the controller of the world, that's Maya. So now we come back to this point about fear. Symbolically, Mother Devaki's constant fear of Kamsa was purifying her. A pure devotee should always fear material association. And in this way, all the asuras of material association will be killed, as the Sadgarbhasuras were killed by Kamsa. It is said that from the mind, Marichi appears. In other words, Marichi is an incarnation of the mind. Marichi has 6 sons: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madha, and Matsarya. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in pure devotional service. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Bhaktir Aivainam Darshayati. Only bhakti can bring one in contact with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared from the womb of Devaki, and therefore Devaki symbolically represents bhakti, and Kamsa symbolically represents material fear. When a pure devotee always fears material association, his real position of bhakti is manifested, and he naturally becomes uninterested in material enjoyment. When the 6 sons of Marichi are killed by such fear, and one is freed from material contamination, within the womb of bhakti, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears. Thus, the 7th pregnancy of Devaki signifies the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After the 6 sons, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madha, and Matsarya are killed, the Shesha incarnation creates a suitable situation for the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, when one awakens his natural Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna appears. This is the explanation given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Text 9.
So, Devaki had all these Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada. She had all these traits.
Well, she didn't have those traits, but her 6 sons, the Sadgarbhasuras, who were killed by Kamsa, represent these 6.
These energies. Okay.
Yeah. Text 9. Ataham angsabhagena devakya putratam shubhe prapsyami tvam yashodayam nandapatyam bhavishyasi. O all auspicious Yogamaya, I shall then appear with my full 6 opulences as the son of Devaki, and you will appear as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, the queen of Maharaj Nanda. Purport. The word Amshabhagena is important in this verse. In Bhagavad Gita 10:42, the Lord says, Atava bahu naitena kim yatena tavarjuna Prishtabhyaham idam Krishnam ekam shena stito jagat. But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support the entire universe. Everything is situated as a part of the Supreme Lord's potency. In regard to Lord Krishna's appearance in the womb of Devaki, Brahma played a part also because on the bank of the milk ocean, he requested the Supreme Personality of Godhead to appear. A part was also played by Baladev, the first expansion of Godhead. Similarly, Yogamaya, who appeared as the daughter of Mother Yashoda, also played a part. Thus, Jiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, and Shakti Tattva are all integrated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Krishna appears, he appears with all his integrated parts. As explained in previous verses, Yogamaya was requested to attract Shankarshan, Baladev, from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. And this was a very heavy task for her. Yogamaya naturally could not see how it was possible for her to attract Shankarshan. Therefore, Krishna addressed her as Shubhe, auspicious, and said, "Be blessed, take power from me, and you will be able to do it." By the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone can do anything, for the Lord is present in everything, all things being his parts and parcels, amshabhagena, and increasing or decreasing by his supreme will. Balaram was only 15 days older than Krishna. By the blessings of Krishna, Yogamaya became the daughter of Mother Yashoda. But by the supreme will, she was not able to enjoy the parental love of her father and mother. Krishna, however, although not actually born from the womb of Mother Yashoda, enjoyed the parental love of Mother Yashoda and Nanda. By the blessings of Krishna, Yogamaya was able to achieve the reputation of being the daughter of Mother Yashoda, who also became famous by the blessings of Krishna. Yashoda means, quote, one who gives fame, end quote. So there's a mystery here that actually Mother Yashoda gave birth to twins. Yeah, one was the daughter, Yogamaya, and one was Krishna. Yeah, she actually gave birth to Krishna. And there are different evidences. I actually put it all together in the form of an article, which I called The Mystery of Lord Krishna's Birth. But you'll see that when Kamsa tried to kill the daughter, she flew up in the air, and she said that the person who will kill you has already taken birth somewhere else. That means he wasn't born exclusively in Mathura, he was born in to Mother Yashoda.
But there's this. the story that we've heard growing up is that he was delivered in the jail, the prison. Krishna was born there, and then all the security, everything falls asleep, and then he tells, then Vasudev, his father, decides to take him crossing the Yamuna
Yeah.
to Nanda, and just when Yashoda was sleeping, just swap the babies, and then he comes with the baby girl who Krishna, who Kans wants to kill.
Correct.
Right?
That's correct.
Okay. But what you were saying something different, that Krishna was born from Yashoda.
No, you could say one Krishna was born of Devaki, and another Krishna was born of Yashoda. So what you said is correct, but there's more to it than that.
Because Rohini takes away the Balram. So who is a part of Krishna?
Sorry?
Balram, Rohini comes and takes away Balram, right?
Yeah, Balaram enters
Still
the
in the
womb of
He was
Rohini.
still not born, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yogamaya transferred him from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini.
yes. So how was Krishna born out of Yashoda?
We'll come to that.
Okay. Anybody has questions?
Thank you. All right, so Jiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, and Shakti Tattva are all integrated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when Krishna appears, he appears with all his integrated parts. As explained in previous verses, Yogamaya was requested to attract Shankarshan Baladev from the womb of Devaki to the womb of Rohini. And this was a very heavy task for her. Yogamaya naturally could not see how it was possible for her to attract Shankarshan. Therefore, Krishna addressed her as Shubhe, auspicious, and said, "Be blessed, take power from me, and you will be able to do it." By the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, anyone can do anything, for the Lord is present in everything, and all things being his parts and parcels, amshabhagena, and increasing or decreasing by his supreme will. Balaram was only 15 days older than Krishna. By the blessings of Krishna, Yogamaya became the daughter of Mother Yashoda, but by the supreme will she was not able to enjoy the parental love of her father and mother. Krishna, however, although not actually born from the womb of Mother Yashoda, enjoyed the parental love of Yashoda and Nanda. By the blessings of Krishna, Yogamaya was able to achieve the reputation of being the daughter of Mother Yashoda, who also became famous by the blessings of Krishna. Yashoda means one who gives fame. Text 14. Sandishtaivam bhagavata tatetyom iti tadvacha pratikriya parikramya gamgata tata karot. Thus instructed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya immediately agreed. With the Vedic mantra Om, she confirmed that she would do what he asked. Thus, having accepted the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, she circumambulated him and started for the place on earth known as Nanda Gokul. There she did everything just as she had been told. Purport. After receiving the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Yogamaya twice confirmed her acceptance by saying, "Yes, sir, I shall do as your order," and then saying Om. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that Om signifies Vedic confirmation. Thus, Yogamaya very faithfully received the Lord's order as a Vedic injunction. It is a fact that whatever is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a Vedic injunction that no one should neglect. In Vedic injunctions, there are no mistakes, illusion, cheating, or imperfections. So these are the 4 defects of the conditioned soul, and they are absent in the Vedic injunctions. Unless one understands the authority of the Vedic version, there is no purpose in quoting Shastra. No one should violate the Vedic injunctions. Rather, one should strictly execute the orders given in the Vedas. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 16:24, Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Karya Vyavastito Gyatva Shastra Vidanoktam Karma Kartumi Arasi. One should understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that one may gradually be elevated. Text 15. Garbe pranite devakya rohinim yoga nidraya ho vishmashrito garba iti pora vichukshu. When the child of Devaki was attracted and transferred into the womb of Rohini by Yogamaya, Devaki seemed to have a miscarriage. Thus all the inhabitants of the palace loudly lamented, "Alas, Devaki has lost her child." Purport. Quote, all the inhabitants of the palace, end quote, includes Kamsa. When everyone lamented, Kamsa joined in compassion, thinking that perhaps because of drugs or some other external means, Devaki had undergone this abortion. The real story of what happened after Yogamaya attracted the child of Devaki into the womb of Rohini in the 7th month of Rohini's pregnancy is described as follows in the Harivamsha. At midnight, while Rohini was sleeping, she experienced, as if in a dream, that she had undergone a miscarriage. After some time, when she awoke, she saw that this had indeed happened, and she was in great anxiety. But Yogamaya then informed her, "O auspicious lady, your child is now being replaced. I am attracting a child from the womb of Devaki, and therefore your child will be known as Sankarshan." The word yoga nidra is significant. When one is spiritually reconnected through self-realization, one regards this material life as having been like a dream. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2:69, Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyame yasyam jagati bhutani sanisha pashyato mune. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. The stage of self-realization is called Yoga Nidra. All material activities appear to be a dream when one is spiritually awakened. Thus, Yoga Nidra may be explained to be Yoga Maya. Text 16. Bhagavan api vishvatma bhaktanam abhyankara aviveshatma bhagena mana anandakum dubi. Thus the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the super soul of all living entities, and who vanquishes all the fear of his devotees, entered the mind of Vasudeva in full opulence. Purport. The word Vishvatma refers to one who is situated in everyone's heart. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. Another meaning of Vishvatva is the only lovable object for everyone. Because of forgetfulness of this object, people are suffering in this material world. But if one fortunately revives his old consciousness of loving Krishna and connects with Vishvatma, one becomes perfect. The Lord is described in the 3rd canto, 3-15, as follows. Paravaresho mahadamsa yukto hyajopi jato bhagavan. Although unborn, the Lord, the Master of everything, appears like a born child by entering the mind of a devotee. The Lord is already there within the mind, and consequently it is not astonishing for him to appear as if born from a devotee's body. The word Avishesha signifies that the Lord appeared within the mind of Vasudeva. There was no need for discharge of semen. That is the opinion of Sripad Sridhar Swami and Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. In the Vaishnava Toshini, Srila Sanatana Goswami says that consciousness was awakened within the mind of Vasudeva. Srila Viraragavacharya also says that Vasudeva was one of the demigods, and that within his mind the Supreme Personality of God had appeared as an awakening of consciousness. So I'm going to save the next portion for later tonight when we get closer to Janmashtami.
Is it okay to ask question? Okay. So, is it just Krishna that was conceived as a thought between Devaki and Vasudeva, or all the children?
Yeah, the Balaram was, but the other 6.
But Balaram was from Nanda and Yashoda.
No. Balaram was from Devaki, and then, by the arrangement of Yoga Maya, Balaram was transferred from Devaki to the womb of Rohini.
Okay, not from Yashoda, from Devaki only.
Yeah.
Okay, and he was one before Krishna.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's one important verse here that
The question still remains that all the other 6 children which were born of Devaki and they were killed by Kamsa, they were also conceived as a thought consciousness.
I cannot say for sure.
Okay.
I haven't seen that mentioned. So I'm going to skip ahead now to a very significant verse that Srila Prabhupada would quote and discuss.
A question.
Sure.
I don't want to distract you, but they're just surfacing, right? So when we all are soul, and that is the supreme truth, right?
Sorry?
We are all souls. We are not bodies, we are souls.
Correct?
And that's how we are connected, and then we go back. When we leave the body, we go back and we in the other realm, and either we come back or we don't, depending on our karmas, right?
Yes, you leave your body,
Yeah.
and the next body you get depends on your activities, karma, and your thoughts at the time of death.
At the time of death, right? And why do we call Godhead Supreme Soul then? Because we are all souls, so is He. So what distinguishes Supreme Soul from soul? Because at the level of soul, we are all supreme. Because we are pure. At this level of soul.
Well, you could say that you're supremely pure, but you're not supreme in the sense that you're not above everyone else. Krishna is supreme because he's above everyone else. Therefore, he's the supreme soul. Your individual soul, Jivatma, and he's the supreme soul. Krishna is the supreme soul.
But what distinguishes supreme from all the purest souls? Say, because there are very many pure souls also, which are 100%.
But he's bigger than you are. This is the sublime philosophy, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's philosophy, Achintya Veda Ved Tattva. Inconceivable, simultaneous, oneness, and different. So you're one in quality with God, but you are different in quantity. Because God is infinite and you are infinitesimal. You're like, just like Krishna's like the big fire and you're like a spark from the fire. So you have the same qualities but not in the same quantity.
So if I am speaking my truth,
Sorry?
if I am speaking my truth, and so is God speaking the truth, so the difference is, truth is, there will always be just one truth, right?
Yes.
And so if I'm speaking the truth, and so is Krishna speaking the truth.
Well, if you repeat what Krishna says, then you're speaking the truth. Otherwise, you're probably speaking nonsense.
I didn't get it.
If you repeat what Krishna says, then you're speaking the absolute truth. But if you're not repeating what Krishna says on spiritual topics, then you are probably speaking nonsense. But you wouldn't do that. I know you wouldn't do that. It's just hypothetical.
So if I'm speaking Krishna's truth, then we are equal. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to understand it. And if it is too much, you can say, we'll talk later. I don't want to...
You're not equal. How could you be equal to Krishna?
Because we are all God.
Oh
God
my
is
God.
inside us. At least I feel that God is inside me.
God is inside you, but that doesn't mean you are God. You are inside the room, but that doesn't mean the room is you or you are the room.
No, I'm not saying I'm the ruler. I'm just saying that God qualities, God qualities I'm talking about. Like,
You have the same qualities, but not in the same quantity. Just like you have some strength, but Krishna had the strength to lift a mountain. Do you have the strength to lift a mountain? No. So you have the same quality, but not in the same quantity.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so this verse was quoted and discussed frequently by Srila Prabhupada. This is Canto 10, Chapter 2, Prayers by the Demigods, text 19. Sadevaki sarva jagan nivasa nivasa bhuta nitaram nareje bojendrage sikhe varudha saraswati jnana kaleyata sati. Translation. Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kamsa, she was like the flames of a fire covered by the walls of a pot, or like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of human society. Please repeat. Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kamsa, she was like the flames of a fire covered by the walls of a pot, or like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of human society. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In this verse, the word Jnana Kala is most significant. Knowledge is meant for distribution. Actually, Srila Prabhupada said if you have knowledge and you don't share it with others, you become envious. Knowledge is meant for distribution. Although there is already much scientific knowledge, whenever scientists or philosophers awaken to a particular type of knowledge, they try to distribute it throughout the world. For otherwise, the knowledge gradually dries up and no one benefits from it. India has the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, but unfortunately, for some reason or other, this sublime knowledge of the science of God was not distributed throughout the world, although it is meant for all of human society. Therefore, Krishna himself appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and ordered all Indians to take up the cause of distributing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita throughout the world. How many of you are Indians? If you're Indian, raise your hands. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered all Indians to take up the cause of distributing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita throughout the entire world. Yare deka tare kaha Krishna upadesha amara agyaya guru ana tare desha. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. C.C. Madhya 7, 128. Although India has the sublime knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Indians have not done their proper duty of distributing it. Although India has the sublime knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Indians have not done their proper duty of distributing it. Now, therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement has been set up to distribute this knowledge as it is, without distortion. Although previously there were attempts to distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, these attempts involved distortion and compromise with mundane knowledge. But now the Krishna consciousness movement, without mundane compromises, is distributing Bhagavad Gita as it is, and people are deriving the benefits of awakening to Krishna consciousness and becoming devotees of Lord Krishna. Yes, although there were so many editions of the Bhagavad Gita, even in English, before the Bhagavad Gita as it is, although the message of the Bhagavad Gita is that one should become a devotee of Krishna, not a single person became a devotee of Krishna by reading the other editions. But after Srila Prabhupada presented the Bhagavad Gita as it is, so many people became devotees of Krishna by reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Although previously there were attempts to distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, these attempts involved distortion and compromise with mundane knowledge. But now the Krishna consciousness movement, without mundane compromises, is distributing Bhagavad Gita as it is, and people are deriving the benefits of awakening to Krishna consciousness and becoming devotees of Lord Krishna. Therefore, the proper distribution of knowledge has begun, by which not only will the whole world benefit, but India's glory will be magnified in human society. Kamsa tried to arrest Krishna consciousness in his house, Bojendra Gehe, with the result that Kamsa, with all his opulences, was later vanquished. Similarly, the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was being choked by unscrupulous Indian leaders, with the result that Indians' culture and knowledge of the Supreme were being lost. Now, however, because Krishna consciousness is spreading, the proper use of Bhagavad Gita is being attempted. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So now we can have more kirtan. I don't know. Well, you can play Mridanga. Is Nitai here to play harmonium?
So, one more. Because the things that I'm hearing today, I didn't know it was that. That's why I'm asking questions. And now that I have the Somebody who can answer me. So you said Balram was transferred to Rohini.
Can you please
And-
keep mic closer?
Okay, is this better? Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna. Okay, so Balram was given from Devaki's womb to Rohini, and he was just how many days older than Krishna?
15.
15, 1-5.
Yes.
So that means Krishna was not there for 9 months in the womb of Devaki.
No.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda
Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Govinda Jaya Jaya, Gopala Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha Ramana Hari, Govinda Jaya Jaya,
Radha
Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya,
Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga,
Nitai
Nitai, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Nitai, 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 Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. Nitai Gauranga Jaya Gaurahari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada,
Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Prajapacharya Stotra Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajapacharya Stotra Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. So now I will sing a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 14, Text 58. Both the Sanskrit and the meaning are very beautiful. Samasrita ye para palava plavam mad padam punyaya so murare Bhavam Buddhir Vatsa Padam Param Padam 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 Yadvi Padam Natesham. The meaning is samasrita ye padapalava plabam, that for one who takes shelter of the boat of the lotus feet of Krishna, who is famous as the enemy of the Mura demon, the vast ocean of material suffering shrinks to the size of a puddle contained in a calf's hoof print. Although there is danger at every step, the devotee crosses right over it. So now is the beautiful arti ceremony, so we should all stand and see the arti.
Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatyadi Shadharine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Nana Shri Advaita Gadadhara Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shri Radhe. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki, Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajakacharya Stotra Sutta Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Prajakacharya Stotra Sutta Sri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kundaki Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Adiyalavo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. I will sing the Nrsimha prayers, and then we have a rabbi from the Jewish tradition who is visiting, and he has some questions that would be of interest to all of us. Would you like to introduce yourself and give us a little background of who? Yeah, you can come here and stand.
Are you sure? I don't want to stop by event. This is yours.
No, we're sharing it.
I'll see you. Don't worry. That's okay. I'm Joe. This is okay?
Yeah. Here.
Wish I had something to give. Thank you. Well, shalom, everybody. Shalom in Hebrew is one way that we greet. The basic sense of the word is, it means hello, but it also means peace and wholeness. Because when we greet another person who is broken, another person who is struggling, your presence, simply greeting them, being with them, offers them a wholeness that they didn't have before. So greeting another person with Haribol or however we greet, our presence actually brings peace and wholeness. So thank you for welcoming me and for greeting me. Thank you, Kennedy. I'm a rabbi. In the Jewish tradition, we call our leaders rabbis. The word itself means, on one level, it means my teacher. So we have a person who is my teacher, an individual connection with somebody to help us walk through life and lead us into a better way of living. I am here today to learn more about your faith tradition, and I'm honored to be here with you. I have been at a few Hare Krishna temples before, but this is the first time I've had this type of an engagement or an opportunity. And from what I know of Eastern thought, we have much in common, but we are different paths. We follow different ways into that one God that we all believe in. And what I thought I would do today when I was asked to come up is I would help us understand maybe some of the areas that we differ, but also areas that we probably share in common as far as God and our relationship and our connection with Him. So my first question, if that's okay, is in Judaism, we also believe in one God. I'm not sure of the nature of the oneness in your tradition, if the many are manifestations of one, or if it is one God ultimately, or there are many gods. So that the first question I'd like to understand, is Krishna the prime God of many, or is he the singular dimension of God with many manifestations? Is it multiplicity, plurality, or singularity with many manifestations or aspects?
That's a very good question. Well, in the Vedic tradition, there's one supreme God, Krishna, but he also manifests himself in other forms, but they're still the same one supreme God. In addition to the supreme Godhead, there are devas or devatas, which we call in English demigods. Okay. They are not God, but they are powerful living entities who have been entrusted with important services in the universe. So, you might have heard of Shiva, Durga, Ganesh, and so on. So they are devas or devatas or demigods, and their relationship with the Supreme God, or Krishna, is compared to members of a cabinet with the king. So, Brahma is in charge of creation, Shiva's in charge of destruction, Indra is in charge of rainfall, Varuna is in charge of the waters, Vayu is in charge of the wind. So they are not the supreme God, they are servants of the supreme God. But because of their pious activities, they have been awarded with these services in the management of the universe.
Are they physical beings that were exalted ultimately into a demigod status, or were they always spiritual beings?
Yeah, they were always demigods. Yeah. But some like Brahma, even Indra, they are posts. They're positions. So, of course, the duration of life of Brahma is very long, but yes, a living entity, if he's pious enough, he can occupy the post of Brahma or Indra. Whereas Shiva, he's in his own category. No one can become Shiva. He's considered sort of halfway between a living entity and the supreme Godhead. He's in his own category.
So is your understanding of the complexity of God, or is it a complexity of one or a multiplicity of many? I'm still not clear on that. In the Jewish tradition, we have an absolute, and there may be a difference here, I'm not sure. And then we'll try and understand a little more nuanced dimension of each position. But in the Jewish faith, we have one. Absolute, complete, It's a singularity. In fact, the mystics in the Jewish faith speak of it's an absolute and an infinite oneness. So there's an infinite dimension to that oneness, but it is an absolute oneness. So we can experience God infinitely through every different encounter in life if we have a heart that is open and a mind that is seeking and eyes that are searching for and ears that are willing to hear. But the oneness is absolutely foundational to the Jewish tradition. Everything is grounded in one, but just like a light going through a prism, it refracts, it breaks up white light into color. That oneness can manifest itself as distinct aspects, but it is always that one source of mercy, that one source of love, that one source of creation, and that one source of life that is always calling us into relationship. But it is one that we can encounter through many different ways. How does that fit with your model of the divine personhood or personhoods of Krishna and the gods or the demigods?
It's the same.
It is.
It's completely the same. Yeah, absolutely the same.
So then, what does it mean that Krishna was born on this day? For us, God always was. One of the names of God, I'd love to know some other names or insights into the names, the meaning behind the names of God. Krishna, Shiva, any Brahma. In Judaism, one of the names of God, he has many names for the one. But one of the names of God has the letters in it that represent the word. I'm getting a little grammatical, and I'm sorry, but it's in grammar, there's the verb to be, is, was, will be. One of the names of God in Judaism has the letters that make up is, present tense being, was, past tense being, and will be, future tense. So it's an infinite continuity of being, existential being, always was, always is, and always will be. That's one of the sacred names of God that we speak of. And there is no birth, there is no death, there is no incarnation. It simply always is and always will be and always was. And we participate in that infinite dimension of God by worshiping, by praying, by living a holy life. What does it mean that Krishna was born if Krishna is the all-encompassing eternal God?
Yes. Well, Krishna's never born. He always was, he is, and he always will be. So what we are celebrating today is his appearance day, and I'll explain what that means. So Krishna exists eternally.
He exists eternally.
Yes. In his abode, the kingdom of God. But he comes into this world from time to time to show people, who he is and what he does, to attract them to his divine personality and service. And when he appears, he chooses very pure souls to act as his mother and father. But he's not born. But the example is given that the sun is always there, but at a certain time it appears to rise, and a certain time it appears to set. But it's always there. So in the same way, Krishna is always there, but at a certain time, he appears to our vision on earth, and then he disappears. And during that time, of course, this is, but I think you might also have something like that in the Jewish tradition. But one can have different relationships with God. Of course, we're all servants of God, that's a given. But one can be in the mood of just as a servant. One can be in the mood of a friend. One can be in the mood of a parent. And so Krishna selects two very pure souls who have the mood of parental love, and he appears as their son. But he always exists. It's just like a pastime.
And what exactly does pastime mean?
Yes, pastime means, the Sanskrit word is lila, and it means something he does for his pleasure, not something that he's obliged to do.
And what is the purpose of those pastimes as far as our lives? Are they instructional? Are they're actual? He actually existed, and the events took place.
Yes.
But is there a symbolic dimension for us in life that we are to model, that we are to imitate, that we are to live by? Or is it simply the historic dimension of his existence at that time?
Yes, his appearance and activities are instructive. And there's a very important verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktya deham purna janma naiti mam eti so Arjuna. One who understands the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and activities in this world never has to take birth again, but attains to Krishna's, goes to Krishna. Now, I guess you could say the philosophical basis of that statement is that the soul is eternal, and when the soul leaves the body, it goes somewhere. And where it goes depends on the person's activities during life and thoughts at the time of death. And in that way, one continues to transmigrate from one body to another in the material world. But if one thinks of Krishna at the time of death, then one doesn't have to take birth again in the material world, but goes to Krishna and lives with Krishna in the spiritual world. And that is, mukti or moksha, that is liberation from the cycle of birth and death.
Once we move beyond this plane and we enter the next plane, assuming with that Krishna consciousness, is that a static existence then, simply in the presence of Krishna? Or is there an evolving, growing, awakening awareness of the infinite world or dimension that we are in? Are we growing still, once we are beyond this plane, in the presence of Krishna? Are we still growing in awareness of divine knowledge? or are we simply present before and with the divine, and that's our eternal state?
Well, when we go to Krishna and join him in the spiritual world, Krishna is unlimited, and so our appreciation of him can also increase without limit. So I would say it's not static, but it is dynamic.
So are we as souls within this body, and then beyond this body in the presence of either Krishna or in the incarnations that take place because we didn't have a life fully lived or rightly lived? Is our soul, the non-material nature of our being, is that eternal, or is that at some point generated in the past?
Yeah, the soul is eternal. It has no beginning and no end. Sometimes we might say that we're created by God, but technically we're not created, but we always exist. But it's like the sun and the sun rays. Both exist simultaneously. Both are eternal, in this example. But still, the sun is, you could say, primary, and the sun rays are secondary. But they both exist simultaneously.
And do we partake in that infinite nature metaphorically with the sun as rays? Or are we, in a sense, also the divinity, since we're both in this model that you're speaking of? Are we both divine, not having an aspect of the divine, but are we both equally divine since we are both eternal?
Yes. The soul is part and parcel of Krishna.
Our souls, our individual
Yeah.
souls. Okay.
Yeah. And they have the same qualities as God, but in minute quantity.
So it's a part of the infinite, if we can use that language.
Yeah, we are. The individual soul is,
Is an aspect of the infinite.
part and parcel.
So we are in part Krishna, the universal Godhead.
Yeah, but two things. One is he is infinite and we're infinitesimal.
Okay.
And he's the master and we're the servants.
Okay. And how do we work our way back into, as infinitesimal aspects of the infinite, how do we work our way back into the infinite in this life, on this plane, or on the many planes that we have to go through?
Yeah, that's the most important question. And the answer is through loving service to God. Now, there are different stages in the practice, because in the beginning we don't have love. I mean, we might have a sense of love, but we don't have fully developed love. So, so this practice or process is called Bhakti Yoga. And there's a whole science of Bhakti Yoga. And anyway, so Krishna appeared, what we're celebrating today, he appeared 5,000 years ago. But then he appeared again 500 years ago in the guise of a devotee to show us how to be devotees. And that is Sri Krishna Chaitanya. You've heard of?
I've heard of Chaitanya, yes.
Yeah. So Sri Krishna Chaitanya is Krishna, but in the role of a devotee.
So he is human, physically able to be touched,
Oh yeah.
spoken to.
Yeah.
He eats, he sleeps.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he appeared 500 years ago, and he empowered one of his disciples named Rupa Goswami to explain the whole science of bhakti yoga. So Rupa Goswami wrote a book called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu that is the complete science of bhakti yoga. And Srila Prabhupada has given us a summary study of that book as the nectar of devotion. So that if we follow that process, we can become qualified by the Lord's mercy to go to the Lord. That's the process, bhakti yoga.
And what does bhakti mean? I know we only have a few moments, but what is the foundation of bhakti, both in terms of its etymology, the meaning of the word bhakti, and how does that manifest itself in our service so that we can come back to God? What is the way of bhakti in life?
Yeah, bhakti means devotion, love and devotion. And one who practices bhakti is called a bhakta, devotee. And so when we follow this process of bhakti yoga, especially as explained by Rupa Goswami, we can perfect our lives and go back home, back to Godhead, and be with Krishna, be with God.
I'm intentionally not speaking much on the Jewish understanding of these ideas because I want to understand more on this sacred day, at this sacred time, your tradition. But I want to help. I want to understand, or this will help me understand. In this one question, I'm going to bring up some Jewish dimensions to see, are we on similar paths to the one, or are we on parallel paths that sometimes part ways?
Is Abhishek now? But Vaisesika Prabhu is not back. Huh?
Abhishek is scheduled at 5 to 6.
No. We'll do this first. We'll continue with this first.
Sure.
Yeah.
Should we take a vote?
What was my question? I want to understand more how we make our way back into our ultimate connection with God, which is what we're all seeking. In the Jewish tradition, we live a life of service to both God and to our fellow human. And we do it through a series of ritual commandments or practices. The Hebrew word is mitzvah. So our ritual practices our commandments are called mitzvahs or mitzvot. That's what we do in the morning. We wear this, or we wear certain garments, or we say certain prayers, or we live in certain ways with our fellow human being. But the root meaning of this word of living a life of commandment, the root word of commandment is the Hebrew word for to connect or to join. And in a broader context, it means joining something that was formerly whole, like a vase was whole, and it was broken but put back together, joined back together. So again, the imagery that I'm trying to express here is we have a vase that is whole, that was broken, and the pieces were put back together and made whole again. That word for to join those broken pieces back into that original wholeness is the Hebrew word that we use for commandment. Our ritual life, our commandments are the way, metaphorically, that we come back to wholeness, that original wholeness that we had in life, which is the wholeness with God. So we live a life here of holy living in service of others and in service of our Maker, to reconnect the broken parts of our being into that organic original wholeness. What does the devotee from your tradition do to regain that wholeness besides the offerings that I've seen here, the artis or the bhakti, which I don't know how bhakti manifests itself in life. So what is the process of holy living in bhakti yoga? And is its ultimate purpose to rejoin you, connect you again with that original wholeness?